The Astrovino hater community is really starting to stir the pot. Uh, that's certainly a sentence I never thought I'd be saying. So, have you guys ever heard about a little panel called Tea House? Yeah, me neither. Well, until about a week ago. So, if you guys didn't already know, last week I began blowing the whistle on the scamming and fraud that had allegedly been taking place with Astrovino and Cameo. And Astrovino's number one haters were on that shit like flies to the feces. Okay, so I know that I'm a T page and I come on here and talk about other people, but I mostly try to report on the facts. A lot of the times I stay neutral unless it's something I have a really strong opinion about, which we all know sometimes I do. But like, this whole Tea House panel is obsessed with Ash Trevino. Like, they've been calling themselves the Tea House, but the only thing I've ever seen them talk about is Ash Trevino. But that's besides the point here. Last week, I was invited on the Tea House panel to speak my mind on the Ash Trevino Cameo situation that I had been dealing with. And things were going really well at first. Until they weren't. You see, the host of the panel, Queen Bacon Bits, as she likes to call herself, had a little bit of an issue with the fact that I was garnering just a bit more attention than her. Because I've only been on here the last couple of weeks, and I've already been surpassing her with my metrics. And Tea House is all she has. So, naturally, she started to feel a little bit threatened and a lot of bit jealous. Jealousy is a recurring theme that I've kind of been noticing a lot within this panel lately. I started to pick up on this vibe before anything had actually happened, and then a few minutes later, my suspicions came to life when I was booted from the panel. But instead of being honest about the fact that I was stealing the spotlight, they decided to shower me with fake lies instead. So at first, Bacon Bits tried to come off as non-confrontational. She told me she didn't know how to say this, but she was ready for someone new to come up onto the panel, so she was ready for me to leave, essentially. Which obviously I would have been okay with if that was the truth. But before I could even respond, there were at least 3 people on this panel that said they wanted to get off of it, so I didn't have to leave. Not specifically to keep me on, they just do these streams till like 5 in the morning sometimes, and everyone was tired and kind of over it. Also because their panel talks about the same 3 clips over and over and over again. You know, another reason I never really understood why they called themselves the Tea House wasn't just because all they do is obsess over Ash, but it's also because they never really have any tea. They'll post stuff to their stories saying, "Come to my live, the tea's gonna be piping hot tonight." And then you like get there and all they're doing is putting up photos of bad angles of Ash Trevino and comparing them with photos of the host. Why, you might ask? Because how else would she fish for compliments and external validation? Duh. I thought you said the tea was gonna be piping hot. That shit ain't even lukewarm. In fact, that tea is not even tea at all. It's actually milk and it's spoiled. Ugh. And now it's starting to curdle really bad too. A tea house? More like the soured milk house. But you know what? You guys still serve. You slay in your own way. Slay! Slay queen. That's the type of validation you've desperately been missing, right, Bacon Bits? Slay! So after her cop-out of needing more space on the panel for more people didn't work anymore, Queen Bacon Bits had to find a new way to get the spotlight back on her. But like, without offending me, because my page was doing better than hers. So then she mysteriously ends the live, only to start it up again about 2 minutes later. She then starts claiming that she got a restriction. And who do you think she blamed it on? Also, the type of restriction she was talking about, I don't even think it exists. She always has the max number of people up on her panel, and she was trying to claim that she wasn't able to have as many people up anymore after I went on. Which is really interesting because about 10 minutes into the live, there were just as many people on the panel as there were ever before. And not only were they ignoring my join requests, They were ignoring the stuff I said in the chat as well. And this is the moment that I started to put 2 and 2 together. And it didn't equal 4, baby. So obviously that was a super petty interaction and it wasn't worth my time to address or discuss at all. And it was honestly very juvenile, middle school type of drama. So I really wasn't going to say anything until they started coming after me. Also spreading lies that I got them a restriction when I most definitely did not. Come to my page to hear the rest of the saga. I'm about to clock the tea house's tea.
Period. How you doing?